Hello and welcome to Conversations where teens and young persons can ask important questions of senior influencers. This project is entitled Bridging the Gap. It is a program designed to establish positive relationships between seniors and youth. This initiative is part of the Power of One project, a collaboration of the Loveuntil Foundation and the Republic Bank of Trinidad and Tobago Limited. Bridging the Gap interviews with senior influencers in Trinidad and Tobago. Bridging the Gap interviews with senior influencers in Trinidad and Tobago, episode 3 with Doctor Jennifer Rouse. How are you?
Fine. I'm enjoying my retirement and I am enjoying this virtual, learning to enjoy the virtual world. I originally was born and grew up in Tobago in 1952. So I am now 69 and I have moved. I was telling a friend this recently where I have, in my short life, I have already lived in 11 places. And it is not that I'm nomadic or that I am a boll weevil looking for a home. It was just that circumstances were that my parents moved at the age of 8 and they moved to Barataria from Tobago, where policy has to be implemented. I helped draft the aging policy and finalize it. I helped draft legislation for the how the homes should operate for the aged. And so everything now is kind of, that all of that was, I call it dress rehearsal or gestation to where I am now. Up, that was the crucible. And as Maslow had to say, the psychologist, we all grow with safety and security needs, where you want a sense of belonging, recognition, and then you want, as you go up towards self-actualization, fulfilling your purpose as part of it and whatever. All of that is based on having your safety and security needs met in your first 8 years. I had that. So for me to make the decision to just go to Maryland and do studying at the age of 44, to now start university in a country I don't know anybody, and to take that leap of faith, that doesn't come just naturally to somebody who is in a family where everybody is very close to one another and very attached to one another, and they don't know how to leave. I didn't have that because I was that free spirit from very, very early. And being, you would hear in the Bible 70, so you know 70 is a big milestone. That is now midway. That is now almost midlife, because a 60-year-old now feels like 40 in terms of energy, interests, travel, you name it. So you're talking about a 20-year hiatus between your chronological age and your vital age, okay? Yet, the system, there's where your generation now in growing up have to make major changes at policy level. The system still dictates that you have to retire at 60, which not making sense. Because beside not only that physically we are feeling more vital, but your institutional memory, you now understand your job. Succession planning. If little you now come in at 18 to an organization, we would be there not occupying space. And this is why they are now looking at extending the retirement age now from 60 to 65, because we are living longer. So this study that is going on in Britain, I think it is, among some think tanks, the millennials and generations like you, millennials are the ones who are generation X, not X, Y and Z. Those are from 1985, but then they have you that come in after. They have already realized y'all are going to be the biggest group of centenarians on the planet. Living to be 103 would be a walk in the park. Important for you to know from now, because you're no longer you're a teenager now. You're going through metabolic changes. You're going through, and it's almost like a not set in stone, but it's like a 7-year cycle. So 15, you're now into another 7-year cycle going towards your 20s. You got it? And we tend to have a marker when you turn 16, but there's no big significance as 16, but it is within the age cohort from 15 to 20, because by 21 you're going into another 7 years. And the thing is, in the university, which all of you now have to go through, before in our age group, it was an option for us. We didn't have to be a university. That's why I went in so late, because I didn't like university. I just knew, wait a minute, what? And then you feel like, you're walking on air, I'm holier than thou. Don't you know who I am? I couldn't handle that. So I just said, I'm not going there, But I ended up realizing, thanks to my father, you, the person, have to make that difference to show that even though you will get your degrees and so, remain humble, remain grounded, remain on the street, remain knowing all the people that you grew up with who influenced you to be who you are. Don't ever leave that. So that is the part of your matrix. So in the moment you credit union, because you're billing shares, and your shares going to multiply and you will get dividends and all of that. All of that will be explained to you. But you have to invest in yourself. You have to. Our generation of the baby boomers, we got free education. We were the first ones to get free education, travel, college education, and we are the most degreed group and privileged. We are the worst on record for saving. If you see sufferation out there, so that many of my peers, their only source of income in retirement is pension. That's the only source. They have nothing else. So some drinking, some getting. That's why you're hearing all the COVID deaths with comorbidity. We didn't even know the word. Comorbidity is when you have about 3 and 4 chronic illnesses at one time. So they live in CDAP to get free medicine. Diabetics, and with the diabetes, they're getting amputated legs and hands. In 1 year, we amputated 2,000 legs. That's your lifestyle. So that is based on your lifestyle, bad diet. Now, when the retirees, so some of them who never thought that they would go in a home, that all the family, all the children would leave them and go abroad, and they can't deal with aloneness. They're suffering from depression, and they're just on tablets. Can't make. I don't want you all go there. So what I find is happening, some young people, like some who in the 20s, 30s are calling on me to mentor them, to guide them, because so many of them in single parent households too, and their mother busy trying to make ends meet. They don't have that conversation. So I'm happy to know that you're doing this project, and at least you would have heard more than you even ventured to ask.
Population is 10% or more of its total population that is age 60 and over, 60 being the baseline that was given by United Nations. Then you know you're an aging population. And at the last population census, which was done in 2010, we saw 13.4%.
And more. I remember learning to play chess. You play drafts, you play Scrabble, and you invite different. There are no age barriers where those activities are concerned. So I guess the technology has had the effect of bringing a sort of separation, yes, because the older folk are not naturally into the technology, so that it's a sort of case of being left behind. So I think your initiative is an excellent one in terms of, deliberately considering and planning ways where you could invite and older folk to become involved.